Let's be honest. You felt it before. That restless itch in your chest. That buzzing tension under your skin. That anger. That lust. That fear. That boredom. That force inside you screaming to be unleashed. But you buried it. Suppressed it. Distracted it. And it turned on you. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Here are 7 ruthless, battle-tested steps to take that volatile energy and redirect it toward transformation, not destruction. Step 1. Catch the surge. Before you can control your energy, you must learn to detect it in its purest, most volatile form. Let's get something straight. Energy doesn't knock politely. It erupts. You don't wake up with a clean slate. You wake up with currents already moving beneath the surface. Thoughts firing, emotions forming, tension building from yesterday's weight, last week's silence, or a lifetime of denied truth. And if you're not vigilant, that current takes over. You snap at someone who didn't deserve it. You reach for the bottle, the screen, the craving. You spiral into distraction or self-pity. And when it's over, you blame yourself. But what if I told you the mistake wasn't the reaction? It was the delay in recognition. You didn't catch the surge. You didn't intercept the storm. You let it sneak past your awareness like a thief in the night. So your first act of power, your first weapon in this war, is attention. Learn the signals. Energy always sends a signal before it explodes. But most people are too numb, too busy, too overstimulated to notice. Start tracking your internal world like your life depends on it. Because it does. The signals are there. A twitch in your jaw. A burning in your chest. A surge of pressure behind your eyes. That subtle clenching in your stomach when your boundaries are tested. That electricity in your limbs when you feel misunderstood or underestimated. These are not inconveniences. They are indicators. They are the red lights on your inner dashboard. And if you ignore them long enough, the engine blows. But if you learn to see them, you can redirect the current before it crashes. Pause the pattern. The moment you catch the surge, pause. This pause is sacred. It separates warriors from reactors, builders from destroyers, leaders from victims. In that single breath, you seize control from your conditioning. You interrupt the autopilot. You override the script you've been running since childhood. You create space between feeling and reaction. And in that space lies choice. The choice to observe, to listen, to reframe, to direct. Ask with precision. When the surge hits, don't just label it anger or sadness. Dig deeper. Ask, what is this energy asking for? Where in my life is something out of alignment? What unmet need is trying to speak through this feeling? Is this energy trying to protect me, push me, or purge something? Because energy doesn't lie. It only misfires when it's ignored. But if you listen closely, it always tells you where to go. Make it a discipline. Catching the surge isn't a one-time trick. It's a daily discipline, a lifestyle. It's the mental martial art of emotional awareness. And like any art, it must be trained. So start small. Check in with your body every hour. Track your triggers in a journal. Breathe and scan yourself before major decisions. Build the muscle of observation so strong that nothing slips past you unnoticed. Because a warrior who can see their energy can shape it. And once you master this awareness, you'll stop being a slave to your reactions and start becoming a commander of your internal world. Remember, the storm doesn't have to sink you. Not if you see it coming. Not if you meet it head on and say, I see you. I feel you. Now watch what I do with you. Catch the surge, or be consumed by it. Your power lies in that choice. Step 2. Strip the label. Energy isn't good or bad. It just is. The moment you assign a label, you limit its power. Or worse, bury it completely. This is where most people lose the war before it begins. They don't lose because they're weak. They don't lose because they're broken. They lose because they've been trained to misjudge their own power, taught to fear their fire, to shame their intensity, to suppress what didn't make others comfortable. From childhood, the message was clear. Stop being so emotional. Calm down, you're overreacting. Don't be angry, it's ugly. Desire? That's selfish. Grief? Get over it. And so what happened? You learn to label energy before you learn to understand it. The problem with labels. When you slap a label like bad, toxic, or dangerous on an emotion, you shut the door on its potential. But here's the secret they never told you. That fire you feel, it's not the enemy. It's untapped fuel. Anger is not bad. Desire is not bad. Obsession, grief, fear, none of it is inherently evil. What matters is how you use it. Because energy doesn't ask for permission. It only asks for direction. Label it wrong, and it festers. Ignore it, and it controls you. Deny it, and it turns inward, becoming depression, self-hate, addiction, burnout. But if you strip the label, you gain access to pure, neutral power. Learn to read it, not judge it. You were never meant to feel one emotion all the time. You weren't built for permanent peace or constant calm. You were designed for range, for movement, for emotional electricity that sparks action, change, and awakening. So when something rises up in you, don't call it bad. Call it a messenger. Ask, what information is this emotion giving me? What does this energy want to do? How can I translate this into fuel? Because if you keep judging your emotions as moral enemies, you'll never use them as strategic allies. Reframe the power. Let's break it down. Anger isn't evil. It's a signal that a boundary has been crossed. It's the warrior rising, asking, what will you protect? Desire isn't sinful. It's a sign of life, of wanting more, of potential waiting to be expressed. Fear isn't weakness. It's sensitivity to change, urging you to prepare and focus. Obsession isn't madness. It's laser focus that, when aimed, can create mastery. Grief isn't failure. It's proof that you loved, that you felt, that you lived deeply. These are not diseases to medicate. They're powers to channel. And if you don't reframe them, you'll spend your life running from the very parts of yourself that were designed to make you strong. The warrior's mindset. A warrior doesn't fear energy. A warrior doesn't judge their emotion. A warrior studies it, uses it, leads it. They understand that every surge of feeling is just energy in a costume, and behind every costume is potential. So instead of asking, is this emotion right or wrong? Ask, how can I weaponize this for my mission? Because once you strip the label, once you stop calling your power bad, just because it makes others uncomfortable, you gain access to all of it. No more guilt, no more shame, just fuel, raw, divine, and ready to be shaped. Final word for step 2. Don't fear your rage. Don't bury your hunger. Don't sedate your sorrow. Unlabel them. Meet them. Master them. Transmute them. Because the energy you've been avoiding, that is your breakthrough. But only if you stop judging it and start wielding it. Step 3. Assign it a purpose. Unchanneled energy is chaos. Directed energy is creation. The difference between destruction and transformation is intention. You've caught the surge. You've stripped the label. Now comes the most critical moment. Direction. Because raw energy without a target doesn't disappear. It devours. And here's the hard truth most people ignore. You're already using your energy. Every single day. But if you don't assign it a purpose, it'll find one for you. And it won't ask for your permission. It'll leak into arguments. It'll sneak into self-doubt. It'll sink into addictions and distractions and emotional spirals that leave you wondering why you feel so empty. That feeling, that's not failure. That's misfired power. Because energy doesn't ask, is this good? It asks, where do I go? So you better answer. Step into the commander role. When that emotional surge hits, don't just feel it, command it. You are the general, the architect, the channel. That energy is not there to hurt you. It's reporting for duty. And your first task is to give it orders. Anger knocks. Don't lash out. Lift heavy. Build fast. Speak truth. Lust creeps in. Don't drown in it. Use it to write, to create, to sharpen, to seduce the world with purpose, not indulgence. Anxiety rises. Don't freeze. Turn it into focused movement. Micro steps. Strategy. Planning. Grief emerges. Don't sink. Use it to serve, to give, to create meaning where pain once lived. The most powerful people you admire didn't get rid of their darkness. They assigned it. Design your redirection list. Here's a tool. Keep it close. Create a list. Your personal energy map. When I feel restless, I will. E.g., sprint, write, solve a problem, initiate a hard conversation. When I feel angry, I will. E.g., do push-ups until I break, speak boldly, outline a new plan. When I feel lonely, I will. E.g., create something beautiful, serve someone else, go deep into my mission. When I feel jealous, I will. E.g., double my discipline, study, build skills, invest in self-mastery. Because purpose doesn't show up for you. You must assign it. On purpose. Transmutation in real time. This isn't about waiting until the storm passes. It's about redirecting while you're in it. Train yourself to say, this is energy, and I will use it. Don't get lost in the emotion. Get to work. You'd be shocked what 20 minutes of focused creation can do to shift your entire mental state. You think you need relief. What you really need is redirection. You think you need a break. What you need is a target. You think you're broken, but you're just unfocused. Energy demands action. This is the step where your identity shifts, where you stop coping and start channeling. When you assign your energy a purpose, you stop reacting and start responding with intention. You become the sculptor of your state, the strategist of your emotions, the weaponizer of your own chaos. This is where warriors are built. Because the difference between someone who destroys their life and someone who reshapes their destiny is not emotion, not trauma, not pain. It's direction. Final word for step 3. When the storm rises, don't just survive it. Use it. Assign it a mission. Give it a task. Point it like a blade toward your future. Because if you don't give your power a place to go, it will tear you apart from the inside out. But if you assign it purpose, there is nothing you can't create. You are not here to calm your storm. You are here to command it. Step 4. Create a ritual of release. Energy must move. If you don't give it a daily path to flow, it will erupt in the places you least expect and cost you everything. By now, you've learned to catch the surge. You've learned to strip the label. You've learned to assign it purpose. But all of that means nothing if you don't consistently create a system to release the energy building inside you. Because energy is not a one-time event. It's a constant rising tide. And if you don't let it out with intention, it will force its way out through destruction. That argument that came out of nowhere, that random breakdown, that relapse, that outburst, that ghosting, that spiral, that wasn't bad luck. That was pent-up energy, ignored too long. So here's the truth. You don't need more therapy sessions. You don't need more apologies. You need a ritual, a daily, sacred, aggressive, non-negotiable ritual of release. You are not above the volcano. You're not too tough to need this. You're not too spiritual to bypass it. You're not too busy to skip it. You are a human being with a nervous system and a soul. You are a container for electricity. And like any machine running at high capacity, if you don't discharge the current, you burn out. Or worse, you explode. So stop pretending you're fine and build the release into your day. Design your ritual. This isn't random. This isn't optional. This is how you stay sane. Pick the tools that move your energy. Physical, intense workouts, shadow boxing, sprinting, long walks without your phone, cold plunges. Mental, journaling, mind dumping, mental clarity exercises, thought purging on paper. Emotional, screaming into the void, crying without apology, laughing until your chest hurts. Spiritual, breathwork, stillness, prayer, meditation, chanting, solitude in nature. Creative, music, writing, drawing, building, capturing emotion and turning it into something real. Your ritual doesn't need to be pretty. It needs to be effective. Don't perform it for Instagram. Perform it for your soul. Make it a discipline, not a reaction. Most people wait until they're spiraling before they try to relieve stress. That's too late. By then, the energy is no longer flexible. It's volatile. You don't wait to sharpen your sword after the enemy attacks. You do it every day, in preparation. So make your ritual a discipline. Do it whether you feel like it or not, especially when you don't feel like it. Because every single day, energy is building inside you. From work, from silence, from interactions, from disappointments, from victories, from suppressed words, from untaken action. That pressure doesn't go away. It just finds a release valve, or it blows the container. So you either give it a path, or it takes one. Stack your ritual with intention. Let's go deeper. Don't just release energy, shape it during the process. For example, use your workout to rewrite your inner script. Use your journaling to transform rage into resolve. Use your breathwork to clear space for focus and strategy. Use your meditation to observe what patterns are repeating and crush them. Your ritual is not just an outlet. It's a refinery. You're not just venting, you're transmuting, turning chaos into clarity, tension into truth, noise into command. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. When life gets hard, most people drop their rituals. And that's why life gets harder. Your ritual must be your anchor, your compass, your reset button, your battle prep. It's not luxury. It's survival. If you have to wake up earlier to do it, do it. If you have to block time like a meeting, do it. If others don't understand, do it anyway. Because the warrior without a release is a ticking bomb. But the warrior with a ritual is untouchable. Final word for step 4. You don't rise by bottling your storms. You rise by releasing them. Daily, ruthlessly, intentionally. This is not self-care. This is self-command. So create your ritual. Own it. Honor it. Defend it with your life. Because when you control your release, you control your destiny. Step 5. Train emotional alchemy. You are not here to suppress your emotions. You are here to transmute them, to take the raw, volatile chaos inside you and forge it into power. This is the art most never learn, because the world taught you to escape emotion, to numb it, avoid it, mask it, mock it, medicate it, but never to master it. So when pain came, you ran. When anger rose, you exploded or imploded. When fear whispered, you froze. And when desire stirred, you buried it under shame. All that energy, never expressed. All that power, never directed. All that potential, rotting inside you. But not anymore. This is where everything changes, because this is the step where warriors separate from wanderers. You stop reacting. You stop pretending. You stop hiding behind stories and start forging meaning out of the fire. This is emotional alchemy, and once you train it, you'll never be the same again. Understand the alchemist's creed. Alchemy is transformation. It's not denial. It's not repression. It's not waiting for the emotion to go away. It's the intentional reworking of emotion into a higher form, turning the lead of pain into the gold of power, turning rage into resolve, turning grief into devotion, turning jealousy into discipline, turning fear into preparation. You don't kill the emotion. You raise its frequency. You use the same energy, just at a higher level of command. Step 1. Feel it without judgment. Before you can transmute anything, you must face it. Drop the judgment. Drop the guilt. Feel the emotion fully. Sit with the rage. Let the sorrow breathe. Look the fear in the eye without blinking. Most people never heal because they don't let themselves feel. They try to skip to the lesson, but there is no gold without going through the fire. So don't just ask, why do I feel this? Ask, what is this emotion made of? What is it pointing to? What power is buried beneath this pain? Once you understand the structure, you can reshape it. Step 2. Identify the opposite frequency. Every emotion has a higher form. Every negative state has a counterpart waiting to be forged. Find it. Anger to direction, fear to focus, jealousy to mastery, shame to integrity, sadness to compassion, despair to devotion, bitterness to clarity. You don't destroy your lower state. You elevate it by finding the useful message beneath the feeling and using that as fuel. Step 3. Apply pressure with purpose. Alchemy isn't passive. It doesn't happen while you're scrolling your phone or waiting for motivation. It happens through applied pressure. That means taking the energy of the emotion and putting it into movement. Example: you're furious? Go lift. Go build. Go confront the situation with grounded force. You're heartbroken? Create art. Write the truth. Use the love that was lost as a signal to love your mission harder. You feel inferior? Train. Study. Improve. Use that sting to sharpen your edge. Emotion becomes power only when it's directed through discipline. Step 4. Ritualize the reframe. This can't be occasional. You have to train this mindset like a muscle. Build rituals around reframing. Journal every time a powerful emotion rises. Track the emotional trigger, the physical reaction, the thought pattern, and the transmutation. Speak it out loud. This is not weakness. This is fuel. End every emotional episode with, what will I build with this? The more you do this, the faster your mind will automatically shift from reaction to redirection. That's how warriors are trained, not in calm, in chaos. Step 5. Respect the depth of your storms. Here's the truth. The deeper your pain, the more power you hold. Because emotion is energy. And the intensity of your emotion shows the capacity of your internal power grid. So instead of asking, why do I feel so much? Ask, what kind of destiny requires this much fire? That's not punishment. That's preparation. You weren't made for average. Your emotions are not glitches. They are instructions. Final word for step 5. You are not here to be a slave to your feelings. You are here to forge them into fuel. This is emotional alchemy, the sacred art of turning storms into strength, pain into purpose, shadow into sovereignty. Feel it, face it, transmute it, use it. Because the ones who master emotional alchemy, they don't just survive life's darkness, they build empires from it. Step 6. Build a constructive obsession. Energy needs a container. Obsession is not your enemy, it's your compass. The question isn't whether you'll obsess, it's what you'll obsess over. Let's be honest. You already have an obsession. You obsess over mistakes. You obsess over people who left. You obsess over your flaws, your fears, your failures. You obsess over who you could have been instead of who you're becoming. You replay scenarios that don't serve you. You re-engage habits that drain you. You rehearse emotions that break you. So stop pretending you're not obsessive. You are. We all are. The real difference between those who drown in obsession and those who build dynasties with it. Direction. If you don't build a container for your obsession will become your container, and it will trap you there, quietly, slowly, completely. So now we do the only thing that makes sense. We choose the obsession. We construct the container. We weaponize the hunger. Obsession is focus, amplified by emotion. It's not a flaw. It's a feature. It's the ability to lock into a goal and give it your time, attention, and intensity without needing outside validation. It's what built every great artist, warrior, leader, and movement. And yet, most people treat obsession like a disease. Why? Because people who can obsess productively are dangerous. They don't need distractions. They don't follow trends. They don't seek permission. They disappear into the craft, and when they return, they own the game. That's what you're building now. A constructive obsession. Not to escape the world, but to reshape it. Identify the mission that can contain your madness. Let's be real. Your energy is too intense for a shallow life. Your thoughts are too sharp for mediocrity. Your potential is too brutal for boredom. So ask yourself, what mission could absorb all of me? Don't settle for goals. Choose a mission that demands your fire. A business you want to dominate. A body you want to sculpt into armor. A skill you want to weaponize until mastery. A message you want to scream into the world until it echoes after you're gone. Choose the mission that gives meaning to your emotion, structure to your storms, and purpose to your obsession. Not every obsession destroys. The right one builds everything. Design your obsession like a fortress. This isn't just about intensity. It's about infrastructure. Structure your life around your mission. Daily rituals that support it. Environments that feed it. Inputs that sharpen it. People who respect it. Your obsession should be the center of gravity in your life. Everything either fuels it or is removed. That's not extremism. That's alignment. You're either circling your obsession like a predator or wandering aimlessly like prey. Transmute impulses into rituals. This is where the magic happens. Every time you feel the old energy rise, lust, rage, boredom, insecurity. Redirect it into your obsession. Lust, pour it into creation, into movement, into performance. Rage, pour it into reps, into resolve, into refining your systems. Boredom, pour it into study, into depth, into sharpening your edge. Insecurity, pour it into skill acquisition, into mastery, into precision. You don't ignore the obsession. You reroute it. Every destructive urge is just misdirected potential waiting for a worthy aim. Give it one. Obsession must be earned daily. You don't become obsessed once. You earn it every day through discipline, alignment, and recommitment. The moment you take your mission for granted, it collapses. So treat your obsession like a flame. Tend to it. Feed it. Protect it from the wind. And when it roars, stand back and let it consume the version of you that no longer serves your future. Let it burn away who you used to be and leave only purpose in its place. Final word for step 6. You don't need to be less intense. You don't need to chill out. You don't need to quiet your hunger. You need to point it. Give it a mission. Give it a fortress. Give it a path so massive, so sacred, so demanding, that it devours your lower self. Because once your obsession is constructive, you don't just build a life, you build a legacy. And nothing can stop a mind that refuses to obsess over anything but victory. Step 7. Close the loop. Daily. Unexpressed energy doesn't disappear. It accumulates. It festers. It turns into noise, fatigue, addiction, and self-destruction. If you want to stay clean, clear, and dangerous, you must close the loop. Let's end the cycle right here. Because most people don't spiral because of a major event. They spiral because of residue. Tiny fragments of emotional tension, unfinished thoughts, unspoken truths, incomplete tasks, unprocessed feelings, unmoved energy. You didn't explode because of one thing. You exploded because you never closed the loop. And day after day, that leftover energy built up inside you like emotional plaque, until eventually, it owned you. This is why people sabotage success. This is why they lose motivation. This is why they drown in confusion and numb themselves just to feel something. Not because they're weak, but because their loops were left open too long. What is a loop? A loop is any energetic or psychological process you begin, but don't finish. A task you started but didn't complete. A conversation you wanted to have but never did. A feeling you suppressed instead of expressed. A promise you made to yourself and abandoned. A thought you entertained but never resolved. Every open loop is a drain. Every unfinished moment leaks your power. And if you don't close it, it turns into noise. Mental noise. Emotional noise. Energetic static that clouds your instincts, weakens your focus, and makes every decision feel heavier than it should. But once you close the loop, clarity returns, power returns, presence returns. Why it must be daily? Because your energy is a system, and every system must be flushed, cleansed, and reset every day. You can't expect to move like a warrior in the world if your inner world is cluttered with yesterday's trash. Closing the loop isn't a luxury. It's maintenance for the battlefield. You shower your body, you charge your phone, you clean your dishes. So why the hell are you letting your mind carry unfinished business for weeks? Clean it. Clear it. Daily. The Warrior's Loop Closure Ritual. Here's how you turn this into a sacred, non-negotiable practice. 1. Scan the mind. At the end of the day, ask, what thoughts am I still carrying? What bothered me today that I didn't confront? What loop is still open that needs closure? 2. Empty the load. Write it. Say it. Move it. Express it. You don't need to fix everything. Just acknowledge it and release the energy. 3. Forgive the slack. Didn't finish everything you planned? Fine. Forgive yourself, but close the loop by setting an exact time to handle it tomorrow. No floating guilt. No vague promises. Precision. 4. Command the mind to rest. Once the loops are closed, you reclaim your energy. Tell yourself, all energy from this day is accounted for. Nothing is unresolved. Nothing owns me. I am clear. I am clean. I am ready. This is how warriors sleep without ghosts. This is how warriors rise, ready to strike again. The cost of ignoring this? If you skip this step, the weight multiplies. You'll wake up already tired. You'll start each day in energetic debt. You'll drift. You'll doubt. You'll hesitate. You won't know why, because the cause isn't obvious, but it's there. 1,000 little weights, all because you didn't close the loop. Final word for step 7. This isn't self-help. This is mental warcraft. Every day, the world opens loops inside you. If you don't actively close them, you bleed power. You'll feel heavy and call it depression. You'll feel numb and call it burnout. You'll feel distant and call it disconnection. But really, you're just full of unclosed loops. So end the day with domination. Clear the slate. Reclaim your focus. Flush the residue. Reset the signal. Because a warrior doesn't go to sleep with weight. They go to sleep with precision. And that's how tomorrow becomes yours. Everything you've suffered, the self-sabotage, the shame, the explosion of emotions, the addictions, the spirals, the silence. It didn't happen because you were broken. It happened because your energy had no direction. You were given fire, but never handed the blueprint to wield it. So it consumed you. It fractured you. It made you feel like the problem, when in reality, it was your untamed power begging for structure. But now, you've seen the map. You've been given the tools. No more excuses. No more running. Let's recap what you've learned and what you're now expected to live. Step 1. Catch the surge. Recognize the moment energy rises. Pause. Observe. Interrupt the automatic pattern before it owns you. Step 2. Strip the label. Stop calling your emotions good or bad. Energy is neutral. What matters is how you use it. Step 3. Assign it a purpose. Give every surge of emotion a target. Transmute chaos into progress by directing energy towards something that builds you. Step 4. Create a ritual of release. Don't wait for breakdowns. Design a sacred daily practice to discharge, express, and transmute energy before it festers. Step 5. Train emotional alchemy. Feel deeply. Then forge. Turn anger into fuel. Turn fear into focus. Reframe emotion into power. Over and over again. Step 6. Build a constructive obsession. You're going to obsess anyway. Might as well pour that fire into a mission so massive, it consumes your lower self and reshapes your destiny. Step 7. Close the loop. Daily. End every day with nothing lingering. No unfinished thoughts. No leaking emotion. No clutter. Total mental and energetic clarity. This is your code now. These are not just tools. They're weapons. They're rituals. They are the foundation of energetic mastery. Because when you lead your energy, nothing leads you. You stop reacting. You start constructing. You stop drowning. You start rising. So let the others keep fighting symptoms. Let them keep chasing peace while leaking power. But you're going to the source. You're building from the root. And you're becoming the weapon you were always meant to be. not by avoiding your intensity, but by owning it, wielding it, unleashing it with discipline and direction. Because now you know. The energy was never the problem. Your lack of command was. Fix that, and you become undeniable. GrimFace warriors, welcome back to the battlefield, where energy is no longer your enemy. It's your edge.